Hey, chat. Do you like playing with fire? Because I am not really going to be playing with fire today. I'm just kind of letting this match so I can light my incense. How you guys doing? This is... There we go. Your one only Gigmaster here, playing Stellaris with all y'all lovelies today. So, first off, horrible, shocking news. We are doing 2 streams in a row. I'm pretty sure I am violating some sort of law on my channel, at least for the couple of months past. But, you know, I'm having fun imagining really dumb meta builds in Stellaris. I've mentioned before, I really enjoy Stellaris. But there's a couple of reasons, both small and big, that I kind of held back that enjoyment for me in the past. I'm looking forward to getting more and more into it. I'm actually... Part of the reason I'm doing these streams, actually, is because I want to play weird, off-meta LOLs builds that aren't absolutely dunked on in multiplayer, because I'd like to try Stellaris multiplayer. Because I played it before, but when I played it before, this, like... When the saber-toothed tigers roamed the land and we went up and down the hills both ways, that was back when tiles were a thing. That's back when, you know, if you really wanted to RP, you put these little, like, wormhole generator things in your systems, and then you, like, went through them, and then those took you somewhere else, but then that somewhere else you also had to build generators, and it was like jump drives, but worse, but you got them from the very beginning. It was weird times. And then everything was hyperlanes, and then everything turned hyperlanes, and then the past was forgotten about. Like the ancient woolly mammoths. It was iced over, forgotten, a weird little facet of history. But that was when I played a bunch of multiplayer, and it was horribly laggy and awful, and everyone desynced, and basically you were liable to implode if someone sneezed in the game lobby. But it seems better now. Much better. It seems much better. I've actually watched a couple of multiplayer streams centered around Stefan Anand's community, because I've been curious if it is actually stable. It seems more or less... It seems stabler. That's not a word, but it conveys what I'm trying to say. It's stabler, which is good, which means I'm incentivized to go ahead and do weird shit in Stellaris multiplayer. And the latest weird shit is hedonistic starfish in space. Now, we streamed this yesterday. Sort of this, right? We sort of did this yesterday. And we only sort of did this yesterday because we're playing it a bit differently today. For you see, today, we are going to change up the origin. So previously, last time, I like life-seeded, but with the harder AI, especially because we're playing Grand Admiral AIs with StarTech AI running in the background to sort of really push me, because I've been able to just wipe the floor with that before in earlier 3.0 or 3.x patches. Kudos to them for improving the AI, because it shows. Like, actually, the last stream, if you watch some of it, we got flanked. We still won the wars we got involved in, but we got flanked twice by the AI, and we had this really horrible realization when we saw how far ahead of us some fanatic purifiers were in the other half of the galaxy, and I basically took a look at that and went, well, life-seeded doesn't really work very well unless you really just do something else. Maybe Hivemind would love Life Seed. No, Hivemind has a Tree of Life. That's right. It's weird. It's different. It's weird Hivemind stuff, because we don't play Gestalts. Fooey to Gestalts here. This time, though, we're going to be playing with Remnant. And Remnant is a bit different. Now, the main reason I was playing Life Seeded beforehand was because we are going to be rolling a civilization or an empire that we take nihilistic acquisition on really early on. And to do that really well, I wanted a high habitability planet for multiple different kinds of species at the very start. So I thought, well, life-seeded. It's a size 30 planet. I mean, yes, you know, the issues with growth, not being able to settle planets around you is bad. But, you know, I've done life-seeded before in, like, you know, way back in 3.0, and that worked. It worked really well, actually. We built tall. It worked really well for Megacorps. You eventually turned to make it size 32 if you got it up Ecumenopolis. It's like, it's great. No, it doesn't, the power curve, especially with alloys, is miserable. Or at least, well, maybe not miserable is the right thing, but you are definitely working from behind, and to catch up, you basically either need to get bloody lucky and find Gaia planets near you that you can settle, or you have to be building habitats around you, or you can't really have a slave-based empire, and you need to get like migration treaties or some sort of xeno that can colonize other planets for you. So again, lucky and restrictive. Or you need to get droids really quickly, so rush droids, which builds super slowly because you'll never be able to move your primary pop there. The short of it being, I think you're just constantly going to be stuck behind, because either you need to get lucky, or you're going to be very restricted and still need to get lucky, or you're going to need to pour a ton of alloys, which you already can't make a bunch of, into habitats, and if you are making a bunch of alloys, you have to specialize your one size 30 Gaia planet into making a bunch of alloys, which means it's going to take forever to get habitats, which means you're still kind of boned. So instead, we're going to do Remnants. So Remnants is actually an origin that I have not played before. But here's my thinking, right? So Remnants gives you a relic world, and I tested this. The relic world it gives you is a high habitability. It said it was 100% habitability at game start, and I checked the native ecology for my main species, our starfish, the Poggy, and it said it was continental, but it still said 100% habitability on the relic world, so presumably that means everyone's going to enjoy 100% habitability on the relic world. I don't know if that's always the case for relics. I know the one for the Rubricator, that event that fires off that gives you a relic world, that one has 80% habitability for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's because I was looking at it with the species that had non-adaptive on it. But that means we can still capture pops and dump them onto our relic world, which we can later turn into an Ecumenopolis. You should be able to. I think you can turn all relic worlds into Ecumenopolises, unless I'm missing something. I probably am. But, brain fart. But we can still colonize planets around us, so we get the main benefit we're looking for with Life Seeded, which is a planet at the very start we can just dump any pop we find in the galaxy onto, and we can settle other worlds, which is the main drawback obviously for Life Seeded, and we can turn that one world into, a giant city world later on with the fudge tons of minerals we always seem to end up with the slaving-based empire. So it's just plus, 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 plus. Yes, it's a size 22. If we look at this, Remnants gives you a size 22 versus Life Seeded, which gives you a size 30. But, I'll take that for the low cost of, oh no, we lose 8 size on our starting planet, and instead, in like 10 years, we can have 2 planets that combined have a total size of like 40-ish or so. Oh no. And high size on a planet, you think about it, only really affects your growth once you hit mid-game, really, once you're around like 2275, 2300, whatever, and you actually need to use all the space on that planet, and if you're Life Seeded by that point, you're probably behind anyways, because the AI next door to you has like 12 planets to your 2, hopefully, 2 planets. So we're gonna do Remnants. Other stuff, I didn't really cover this because last stream I didn't really start from Tabula Rasa. I didn't start from the very beginning. Our starfish boys, the species traits themselves, it is fairly meta, intelligent, rapid breeders. This was originally natural sociologists, the idea being that we could rush terraforming tech to go ahead and get the World Shaper Ascension bonus, which is also an Ascension bonus that isn't great, but we needed it to really have life-seeded work into late game. But we don't need that anymore. Instead, we need research for weather control and for... I forget what the Tier 2 housing tech is called, but it needed to go ahead and turn a Relic World into an Ecumenopolis. And also Natural Engineers is just amazing. I might eventually... I am tempted to take away Sedentary and turn that into Decadent, just because of... Actually, no, let's do that. We're going to take that away, just because, again, this is still supposed to be a bit of a meme build. We need to have Decadent Space Starfish, okay? I'm actually going to take away Sedentary. Fuck that. It's going to be Decadent, because we need to have grapes fed to us at regular intervals, otherwise we die. That is going to be kind of a drawback, though, because we don't start with Barbaric Despoilers. Barbaric Despoilers just basically means everyone's going to kind of hate us at the very beginning. I don't want to bother with that. I don't want to have to go ahead and reshuffle my society around. Also, I can't actually add it or remove it after the game started anyways, so Distinguished Admiralty is just so much better, and then Pleasure Seekers, and then we'll just pick up the Ascension for Nihilistic Acquisition around like 2230, 2240-ish, and we'll be fine. I'd much rather do it that way than have the malice against us of being, you know, Barbaric Despoilers. Plus, also, you think about it, being a bunch of, like, Barbaric Despoilers, that's not really our style. We're like the Eastern Roman Empire after it got split in two, essentially. We're the Holy Roman Empire before it hyper-Balkanized into a bunch of little princedoms. Actually, it kind of started that way. It kind of always was that way. But we're basically that. We're not the Goths. We're not the Huns. We're not coming from the Caucasus to go ahead and beat up somebody. We are just convincing people to join our hedonistic wonderland. We are not the Goths. We are more like, Hadrian, I guess? There's an emperor before Hadrian I'm thinking of that basically kicked Roman bureaucracy in the arse and actually got it moving. But weird nerd history stuff aside, let's get this shit rolling. Oh, yes, no, hold on. I need to change this. We're Imperial. We are Imperials. We're not some sort of weird bloody oligarchy. We want that additional edict size. All right. And also, unlike one of our other builds we've been doing, the Tholian Unity, our leaders don't basically live forever. So if we get kind of a crap ruler at the beginning, it's not the end of the world. They'll die off on their own time. Other stuff here. I am mirroring the settings used in a lot of multiplayer lobbies too. In Stefan Anon's community and elsewhere, because I like to establish a sort of baseline for how this is going to play, because I'm basically trying to make a kind of memey, non-meta, vanilla bio build that is going to be fun, but is also not going to get totally left in the dust. I essentially want to be able to play the game constructively while still being kind of goofy and not being a sweaty tryhard, in short. Apologies to all you sweaty tryhards out there. I am happy for you to all have fun in your own ways. Excellent, decent explorer leader choices at the very beginning. Need the Unity as fast as I can. I won't fudge with that yet. Eventually I want to turn off clerical jobs, but I'm going to need to go ahead and do a bunch of redistricting stuff first before I can get there. So if you out there, hello, by the way, I hope you had a pretty awesome Friday. I hope you are going to have a pretty damn awesome weekend. Props to you for making it to Friday while still being sane. And if you're not sane, then don't worry. You'll get better. Hopefully. Because weekends are nice. Oh, expansionist and warlike. I like both of those quite a lot. So we actually got a pretty boss leader for the very beginning. Cool. Oh, right, I need to do weird shenanigans. Boop, 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 boop. Excuse me. Boop. There are days I do... Stop that. There are days I wish there was a hotkey in Stellaris for every single action.
Construction completed.
Cool. Gosh, I was talking about something before I started to have to worry about sciencey stuff. Oh, right. Sorry, brain catching up to myself. So, for those of you out there who don't play as much Stellaris, if you... Pro tip. Sort of pro tip. Or a gig tip. It's a gig tip. Don't make it weird. If you are not playing an Empire that's focused on trade a lot, you actually stand to benefit by essentially turning off clerk jobs and turning off enforcer jobs. You don't really need enforcer jobs unless your crime is way out of control, and even then you can just do a deal with the crime lords and be absolutely fine. It's really not going to hinder you as much as you might think it will. Oh, we got another one of them. Cool. And you save up pop slots, because arguably, unless you're running like police state or something, clerical jobs and enforcer jobs are basically the most inefficient ones. So unless you just have an absolute wealth of pops on your hand... Observatory above Planet Paradise has picked up a transmission. Unlike tech is available to us, it consists of simple EM waves that carry information at the speed of light. It is looped. Okay. Oh, I remember this event. Hi there. This is Professor Wuka Zayor of the Extrasolar Intelligence Institute. So it's essentially a alien xeno race that has been sending out signal from their home planet for God knows how long, trying to talk, dude. I like this. I like this event a lot, actually, because I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet. Because, like they say, we refuse to believe that the universe is cold and empty. We dream of the day we meet. The coordinates of our home system are attached, etc. It's so, especially if you think of how a lot of, say, multiplayer games begin in Stellaris. It's so
log has been updated.
Heart-achingly naive. Because I have not seen... yeah, I'd rather have the Unity. I have not seen, like, a hug box game of Stellaris for a very long time. Especially with StarNet. Everyone tends to get grumpy and upset and agitated in short order. I was actually, let's see here. Do we do... Yeah, we're gonna do my wonky Discovery start. It's because I like it for single player. It keeps the beginning fun. There's actually an event... that was like the anti-Hugbox event last stream that we did. Did we just colonize the 60% world? Yeah, actually, probably. Unless another world pops up soon, because we really want to get a colony ship rolling ASAP. There was actually an event that fired at the very end of the last stream that was really cool. That was an event from one of the extra event mods that we have. This game, by the way, is modded. We are rolling StarTech, and we are rolling, I want to say 3 separate extra event mods. I know there's Fatal Foundations, and more events, I think was one of the other ones. I forgot what the third one was. But none of them are, like, drastically gameplay changing. And some of the events they introduce are really cool and really interesting. Like, and I will admit, some of these events might actually be part of the core game, because I haven't tuned in a bunch since 3.0, honestly. One of the events that fired off towards the end of last stream was this Galaxy Plague event. Topical. Where everyone was convinced that the sudden plague spreading through the galaxy was engineered by someone. Wow, this is actually more topical than I thought it was. That's uncomfortable. And everyone suddenly really distrusted everybody else. So everybody in the galaxy
System
got
survey
a big
concluded.
opinion malus against every other empire. And everyone also got Cause's Belly, which was basically if you defeat them in war, you can find out if they caused the plague. What I would love is if there is a chance for the event where no empire was actually like flagged as having caused the plague. Like that'd be perfect. That'd be the best. I would love that. I really hope that's actually the case. We're not going to learn that because essentially, like I mentioned before, it's a Savannah world. We are, I think we're still continental. Yeah, we're continental. Nice to have another world nearby, though. We can terraform that. Get that rolling. What direction haven't we really gone in yet? Let's go over there. But I really would love if that event actually, when it goes off, no empire was actually responsible for it and just caused this huge outbreak of hostility. And what was great was, however, they have the AI working right now. The AI responded almost immediately. Like our log up here, our event log, just started filling up with people canceling agreements, canceling non-aggression agreements, rivaling each other. Someone declared war almost immediately, but it didn't show us why. People. It was like someone dropped a bomb into a pile of ants. It was really, really, really cool. And I have to admit, I'm kind of sad that we aren't going to finish the last game. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to adjust camera a little. Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Perfect. Good. Lovely. But I'm actually a little sad we're not going to end up finishing that, but we were... I played it on my own for basically like 10 minutes more after the stream ended and basically took a look around and then used some console stuff to basically look at how far ahead a number of the other AI empires were. And basically, about 3/4 of the rest of the AI empires were basically leaps and bounds ahead of us by 2260. I was just like, no. I just wasn't gonna. Because part of the reason we're doing this is we're trying to find silly, dumb builds, but not absolutely useless, like you feel like you've just wasted 20 hours of your time kind of builds. Like, I do not have the kind of time to basically yeet it into a giant furnace. Frankly, I'm not aware of many people that do. So... That said, I only see the tropical world over here so far, but we are going to do something a little weird. We're actually going to use Map the Stars, and we're just going to go for an absolute crap ton. I'll probably do the first guy. And we're just going to spring for an absolute crap ton of science vessels at the beginning. Why? One, like I said before, because I find it interesting. Two, because I like the anomaly chance increase for it, because it seems like you are investing a lot of influence. Nah, I'll keep that on the planet. I don't want to fudge up triple sec too much. Like, okay, you're spending 200 influence on the edict, and you are spending a lot of alloys to go ahead and pump out science vessels, so it might seem like a really bad trade-off. But I'm not going to move them back here to finish those in a little bit, but I'm going to build myself a research lab in the meantime. Like, it might seem like a really bad idea, and maybe it is. Who knows? This is, in part, just the way I really enjoy playing. But from my perspective, I'm kind of investing in future events to fire off. Because the more scientists you have around, running around, discovering more events, showing you more of the galaxy. Cool. Showing you more of the galaxy, finding out more crap for you. You're getting more events, which are giving you for some of them, really incredibly huge one-time bonuses. You stand a really damn good chance of getting the precursor event chain in your section of the galaxy finished up, which is another big long-term bonus potentially. You get to see a lot more of the map than a lot of other people do, which is also pretty great because you can sort of plan out your expansion with more intelligence.
System survey concluded.
Do. Trinary's Aquatics system is quite an unusual sight, littered with debris that nevertheless is also filled with life. And multiple planets in the system seem to host primitive civilizations. That's interesting. We are detecting an abandoned space station orbiting one of the isolated planets, quietly watching over the system. I feel... Whoopsie-doopsie. I'll reassign you in a second. Interesting. Huh. I feel like I've seen that setup before. Or like that fire off in another game. I just can't recall immediately off the top of my head. But depending on exactly how that turns out, that could be really, really, really strong. I'm intrigued.
System survey concluded.
Just enter orbit for now. We'll have enough influence in a bit. But some of the events you can get by running around can give you plenty of influence back. Enough that you're only losing like a couple of months at the beginning of the game.
We have detected an anomaly.
And you're also, again, you're investing in exploring space, and eventually, once you get like a level 7 scientist running around doing your bidding, you can send them back to your home world or your science world if you didn't spec your home world for science for some weird reason, and boost your research there by like 24-26%, which is pretty damn fantastic. I think it's worth it.
Anomalous readings registered.
So yeah, the build so far is we do that, and then we go for the next tree we do is supremacy.
Survey concluded.
Just go ahead and get the fire rate up, get better fleet size, get cheaper construction, because we try to prime ourselves to do nihilistic acquisition
Anomalous readings
immediately
registered.
after that. So the moment we take nihilistic acquisition, excellent. Okay, we can go. Why is... Oh, it has minus habitability. Oh, that sucks. But, wow. Okay, so that is a giant energy-producing monster of a planet. Cool. And then there's a continental down there. Interesting. Interesting. Right, that already got filled. We don't have enough minerals to really do anything else right now.
Research concluded.
Yep. Excuse me. Give me a chance to select my research, please. Thank you. Invasive exofungus. Sampling the growth, blanketing the entire biospheres and Regnus 3. Gog reports that the substance is not native to the planet. Feeds on biomatter. Oh, so that's... gotcha. That's what that's doing. Gotcha. Neato burrito. Cool. Cool. You know, depending on how many primitive civilizations are in here, I might be tempted... Okay, one of them has a continental world. To set observation posts on all of them. And, man, that would also be a really good source of slaves for my lovely empire. Can I do...
Anomalous readings registered.
We might do a native... there we go, unrestricted. We might start doing war crimes very early on, ladies and gentlemen. Because that could basically be a free continental world for us. It'll take like 10 years before it really comes online, but that could be very interesting. Alright. Let's get started there, though.
We have detected an anomaly.
Yep, research it. We should probably hold on 6 science ships for now. Our economy really can't support more of them at our current pace. Let's actually dump out some of you.
We have detected an anomaly.
It's, cool.
Research concluded.
That's cool. Is hold on one moment, please. Ow. Actually, I'll hold off on that. We might get some minerals from a random event as we're running around. We'll get that right now. Actually, while I'm thinking of that, can I start pre-building? There we go.
Construction completed.
Not pre-building by very much, mind you, but... Yes, another weird alien civ. Excellent. Cool beans, bro. Get all of that.
Research concluded.
We're gonna slow down for a hot second. Hold your horses. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, I actually want that.
Situation log has been updated.
Boop. Oh, I need a construction ship for that one. Barf. I'll have to come back. And that's another continental world over there. Wow, this is... Wow, actually, this is going to be an incredibly strong start. Already showing just how much worse off we are trying to finagle life seeded to work properly. We trade one really good planet for basically 4 pretty okay planets and a main planet that's still pretty cool. See, like I was just saying, more scientists running around discovering more stuff, just random 800 energy. Cool. Someone got exploded in the past. That's neat. Well, now we have quite a bit more energy, so we're going to swap that then. And we're going to start building generator districts and ease ourselves out of using clerical jobs because they suck. We had one scientist who was, yeah, there we go. Stop surveying that, actually excavate that. Impossible City, I don't remember that one. I want to go ahead and start tackling that site early, though, because some sites you can get are very, very good very, very quickly. Just also making sure that YouTube is behaving itself. Cool. Excellent. For now, anyways, I can never really expect YouTube to actually behave itself on a more permanent basis. That way lies madness. Oh, I have money. I should get rid of my slums. So it's cool, too. I haven't explored the remnants start all that much, honestly, like I said at the beginning, but I do know from the test run I did for a bit that you can get these odd, like, planetary features when you colonize planets, because the planets were essentially parts of your empire previously. Though perhaps I should back up. So remnants, the idea is that your empire used to be a big sprawling space empire, actually, long ago in a galaxy far away. And essentially, you are like another step removed from a fallen empire. You are like the super fallen, super decrypt, dead fallen empire. You didn't even get to fallen empire status. You just kind of winked out. You kind of got your core ripped out of you. And your starting planet used to be the center of that empire, and it's kind of rotted away into this relic world, which is this very pale, shallow... There's no influence back. This very pale, shallow of... This pale... shadow of what it used to be. Oh, that's a...
System survey concluded.
Okay. Go deal with that and then build that mining station then. Do that first. And through various reasons, your society has basically decided to get up off its fat arse and actually regrow and rebuild and reclaim their former glory, which is a cool concept. I like that. I like the idea of, like, now you're going to have redemption. You're going to restore your grand empire. You're going to make up for all these years of decay and sloth that your civilization has gone through. Like, from a role-playing perspective, in albeit as much as your role-play in Stellaris, that is a lot more fun and juicy of a concept than... you kind of get together in a happy way and a bad thing doesn't happen at the end. Like, okay, that's... yeah, that's okay. That, I mean, it gets the ball rolling, but it isn't quite as interesting if you're actually going to make some sort of, like, hack-together, fun, dumb lore for your space empire. There's more you can hang off that. There's more hooks for fun collectibles. Remnants versus prosperous unification, or like a plain old hive mind or gestalt of some kind, is kind of like you go into a house and it's a nice house, it's clean, there's enough rooms, it's bath and a half, the bedrooms are nice, but there's not a lot of space to put stuff, right? Like, you don't have a lot of storage space, there's not much wall space that's good for hanging stuff. It kind of feels a little cramped, whereas Remnants, it's much more easy, at least mentally, because I like to, like, exist a bit, like, emotionally role-playing a bit into the Civ that I play in Stellaris. Even if it's very surface level, it's still a large part of the draw for me. Remnants is much easier to kind of make, like, a cozy place to put your mind in, to get into the right mind space for playing, you know, say a sprawling space empire that's made of hedonistic starfish. Like, it's all dumb, let's be frank. We have fanatical purifier geckos in here. But Remnants is just, you can, it's like a full-bodied beer versus Samuel Adams. Samuel Adams is an American beer. It's okay. It does the job. It's no Coors Light. It's better than Coors Light. But just about everything is better than Coors Light or Natty Ice. Just any of you guys getting in a drinking age in the U.S., just don't even touch those. Just go to a water tap and color the water a little bit, and congratulations, you have Natty Ice. But it's like, you know, Samuel Adams, like, okay, beer versus, like, a nice, thick, dark brown craft beer or lager or stout of some kind. It's just much toothier. Star is trying to understand them. The energy might be nice from some of the events. Because the Study the Stars events do give you, like, a little bit of energy from some of the stuff that can fire off. So go ahead and grab you. We'll research that one right there. We'll slow down for a hot second. And you will get that. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. And then over here, cool. We can now go ahead and turn off clerk jobs because they suck and are dumb. And then we'll go ahead and what we do next. How close are we? Not that close. We'll buy 100 more minerals. And what are we gonna do? I could do an alloy foundries. Which might not be a bad idea, just to slap down alloy foundries there. I'll actually wait on that. I'll open up one clerk position. Someone can grab that. Actually, what are our amenities at now? Oh, they're fine. They'll live. It'll be a bit again before we can get to 100 stability. Oh yeah, that was one thing from the last stream. We did find that by just dumping 20 servants onto a planet and getting like 288 amenities, plus other hacks like nobles and deep spit. Did Stellaris just crash on me? No, it didn't. It just minimized itself for a second. That was weird.
System survey concluded.
Still